Well, just a few decades ago, the idea that the government could easily follow your finances, your health records, and even your movements seemed like something out of science fiction.
We're all being watched these days in remarkable ways.
Technology is now shifting away from the PC and into a new wireless world where data flows through the air and where questions abound about who may have access to private data.
9/11 turned much of the West into a super surveillance society, and high-tech devices and innovations will soon enable that society to track everyone all the time and easily poke its nose into everyone's lives.
The world we're entering is a personalized 1984, a world of multiple big brothers, where we're able to spy on one another.
But in 1933, there was no computer. What there was the IBM punch card system, which controlled and stored information based upon the holes that were punched in various rows and columns. Naturally, there was no off-the-shelf software as there is today. Each application was custom designed, and an engineer had to personally configure it. Millions of people of all religions and nationalities and characteristics went through the concentration camp system. That's an extraordinary traffic management program that required an IBM system in every railroad direction and an IBM system in every concentration camp.
Now add the wonders of miniaturized high-tech. Tiny radio frequency IDs, called RFIDs, are being attached to hundreds of millions of objects so they can be inventoried, tracked, and sold in an instant. More and more of these kinds of information-saturated teensy trackers are ending up in livestock and pets through surgically inserted Verichips the size of a grain of rice. Some government programs and some cities are making this chipping mandatory. And it's now becoming much more acceptable to use biometrics, RFIDs, or chipping on people. Such chipping could help track lost or kidnapped kids or Alzheimer's victims who wander off. But along with helpful uses, these things can also be used to control people more. It can be seen in the school where kids now have to have their biometrics checked before they can get food from the cafeteria. Or the hospital where embedded microchips are ratting out medical workers who haven't washed their hands enough. This chipping may seem strange now, but Australink thinks it'll become commonplace as it spreads.
Chip implants have been common in pets for several years, giving the owner peace of mind that their lost animal could be identified. And for retail giant Walmart, the chips are used as smart barcodes to keep track of thousands of products.
All Michigan cattle, because of our TB in the state, have got a RFID ear tag in their ear. RFID is radio frequency identification. They have to have that RFID ear tag in their ear, this round button, before they leave the farm of origin, in order that if we find an issue with them at harvest, that they can be traced back to the farm of origin. In this project that we're working on here locally, we're trying to expand that a little bit further such that we can trace individual animals to the plate, basically. So
the year is 2017. You're rushed to a hospital unconscious with no ID or medical history, but thanks to a microchip under your skin, it's all there. Science fiction 20 years ago, but a biometric reality today.
The technology is based on answering one simple question. Am I who I say I am?
Already, fingerprints and iris scans verify passenger identities at airports. Within 10 years, that technology may be even more widespread. And look for more complex facial recognition programs that scan a crowd of thousands looking for a single terrorist. Today's facial recognition software starts with the eyes. Then it maps out the contours of the face and compares that against a database of millions, a database that's growing by the day. What's next? At the University of Bath in England, researchers predict big changes for consumers.
I think it is possible to free us completely of our wallets and keys using biometric technology, if that's what people want in 10 years' time.
In fact, it's already here. The latest home security locks use fingerprints to control deadbolts. And at the Jewel Osco grocery store in Chicago, some customers pay using their fingerprints. No paper or plastic.
You don't really need anything other than your hand, and you already got that with you.
So will future department stores scan our irises, like in the movie Minority Report, then offer products catered to who we are?
Hello, Mr. Yakamoto. Welcome back to the Gap.
Tesco has been evolving itself, adjusting to the local market. Idea: let the store come to the people. We created virtual stores, hoping to blend into people's everyday lives. Our first try was subway stations. Although virtual, the displays were exactly the same as actual stores, from the display to the merchandise. Only one thing was different. You use smartphones to shop. Scan the QR code with your phone and the product automatically lands in your online cart. When the online purchase is done, it will be delivered to your door right after you get home. People can relax more after work and on weekends.
Visa PayWave, a revolutionary new way of paying for low-value goods and services. An innovative extension to chip and PIN cards. For low-value items, just pay with a wave. Less than a second every time. No more fumbling for change. Secured by chip and PIN, one card does it all. It's fast and secure for the merchant and cardholder. The best way to pay every day.
They've tried to get legislation passed in states to make Alzheimer patients take the chip. They did a deal with the Bureau of Prisons in California to chip prisoners and parolees. That was in Reuters about 7 years ago. People got really upset, and that got canceled. They've done deals with upscale nightclubs to get into the VIP champagne rooms with the women. You've got to take a chip. They've done everything they can to push this, and their stock is up over 100%. This is the medical tyranny, where everybody's going to have a chip that accesses and has your history on it and also accesses bigger, more detailed medical histories. And this is the new medical tyranny, the new martial law tyranny. From that to the new bioethics eugenical system of where the medical system and the government decides who gets care, and they decide that they're going to ration the care. So that's what this is going to be, a chip proving you're a good globalist, a chip proving you're allowed to buy and sell. They're saying under Homeland Security, if you haven't paid your taxes or have bad debts, you're going to be put on the no-fly, no-gun-buy list. So no judge, no jury, you're just put on list, and you've got to take a chip to prove you're good. And if your chip doesn't work, they just turn it off. How would they sell giving us a chip?